Aloha and welcome back to Increase the Peace in Quarantine. Day 5, the power of consistency. I hope everybody is doing well and decreasing the stress so that we can increase the peace. I'm very hopeful that some of these tools will aid you in truly getting some of that stress out, empowering you so that we can increase our peace and boost our immune system. So I just want to tap on the trigger points, touch on those a little bit. I hope that you have tried to find any in your shoulders. Know that they can be scattered throughout the whole entire body, so don't just think they're in the shoulders. They can be found in the forearms if you use your forearms a lot. Carpenters, computer fingers, all these muscles in the body, depending on how we use our body, really trigger point work can be a beautiful way to move out a lot of scar tissue. It can be a beautiful way to move out. It can really help decrease pain. That's the biggest thing. Decreasing pain. It can be debilitating sometimes, our pain. So if we can just get to know our muscles and don't be afraid to touch the muscles. When something hurts, if the shoulder hurts, let that be a sign to just go right there. Sometimes we have a tendency to want to ignore or not touch something if it hurts, but that's the worst thing to do. Always go into something gentle, but if you have a muscle that's trying to talk to you and it is really hurting, let that be a reminder to go and get to know it and see if you can help bring circulation, more blood flow, and move out some of those trigger points. And fascia, you can do a nice grip on your muscles. You can look up fascia. You can look up anything on Google these days. If you look up fascia, there are beautiful fascia techniques that releasing the fascia, structural integration is an amazing tool, and that is a lesson in itself. We touched upon it a little bit, but the fascia, there are specific holds, and you engage fascia with arm pulls or leg pulls or skin rolling or skin pulling. These are techniques. So if I were to engage my fascia and I had some maybe tennis elbow, I would literally want to work my whole entire forearm, and you can grab your skin and you can hold it, or you can find a point that's tender and then just dig in and slowly begin to glide. And when I say slow as a snail moves, that's how slow. So if you feel inspired, you can do a little homework on your own time and check out some fascia glides. So today, the power of consistency. I would like to introduce a very short 5 to 10 minute morning movement routine that you can add to your life to promote circulation. It attacks the marma points. The marma points are areas in the body that are high density. The meridians are the freeways of our chi. Chi is energy. So marma points are these high areas where if we open those points up, all of our chi runs more freely. And if we circulate our joints, everything is going to be better, because things like to settle in the joints. And it makes sense if you think about it. Our joints don't have a whole lot of blood flow. Muscles have the most blood flow. Tendons have less blood flow. Tendons attach the muscles to the bone. And then ligaments have the least amount of blood flow, and ligaments attach bone to bone. So areas like our joints can really get toxic and thick and sluggish. So this morning movement is going to boost the immune system, which we already talked about regarding the lymphatic system. So we're going to interweave some of this lymphatic flushing. Then we're going to attack the marma points, the joints. That's where most marma points, high density marma points are. And then we're going to do some breath work, and all these this beautiful collaboration of all these tools is going to create circulation, it's going to create focus, healing, and it's going to, of course, we're decreasing stress, so we're going to increase our peace. Okay, so here goes. We'll start grounding our feet. It's wonderful. You can stand on a rug or you can stand on the wood floor, whatever feels good to you, as long as you're barefoot, which is the most important. And you don't want to slip. You want to be able to feel your feet, your toes spreading, and you want to make sure that your feet are taking the complete balance on the bottom of them. You don't want to favor the outside of your feet. You don't want to favor the inside of your feet. Sometimes when we stand, people pronate or supinate. We really want to make sure that our foundation, which is our feet, are equally distributing our weight. So once you got that, we're ready to go. So you're going to go ahead and begin, and you might want to close your eyes. Sometimes people get dizzy. You're going to take your chin, and it's as though you're going to draw circles. And what I'm going to do is we're just going to do 8, but you can do as many as 15 or 20, but for time, we'll do 8 circles to the right, 8 circles to the left, and we're going to move through the body. So here we go. We're drawing a circle with our chin. We're not stretching. It is not a stretching movement at all. And then the opposite direction. If you hear fluid in your cervical vertebrae, movement of fluid or some crunchiness, completely normal. Okay, then from there, you go to the shoulders. And we're going to be, sometimes you'll hear crunchies in this as well, but just think we're creating circulation. And then you do opposite direction. From the shoulders, we go to the fingers. So we're going to start at the bottom. And remember, you can do however many feels good. And then to the side. I love you, Richard. Richard is one of my most favorite yoga teachers, and he has inspired me regarding the marma points. Then interlock, and from there we go into opening up the wrists. So this is a very unusual movement, and I'll slow it down for you. So all I'm doing, my fingers are relaxed, and then opposite direction. You know you're doing it right when your forearms are going back and forth. Okay, from there, we go into the thoracic ducts, the main dumping stations for the lymphatic system. If these are not open and clear, our lymph is going to be congested. And you can even add some sound. It's a little weird, but it really is very beneficial. Helps to stimulate the throat chakra and the thyroid. And then we're going to go up to the sinuses. And then the upper sinuses. Huge sinus cavities up in the forehead. And then we're going to make gentle fists, and we're going to stimulate the scalp, which is not what we do enough. We do not circulate this head of ours. Take the finger pads and massage. Really get into it. See if you can move your skin along your cranial bones. Craniosacral is one of the most amazing healing tools ever. Then you're going to find at the back of your head, you're going to follow your fingers until it dips in. That's the occipital ridge. You're going to gently dig your fingers in and up, in and up. So you're going in and up, in and up, in and up. And then circle a little bit if you want. And then gently interlock your fingers and gently stretch and gently push up into the hands and then circulate again, massaging at the occipital ridge. And interlock those fingers again, gently stretch and gently push into the hands and massage one more time. Okay, so now we're going to go further down. I like to do a little bit of massaging to the gut. So the direction, I'm going down on the left, over and up on the right. Down on the left, over and up on the right. Our digestive tract, well, I can't say enough about our digestion. It's very important. The source of our health is all about digestion. And going to massage, and then we're going to come down to our lower back. So this, the knees are bent slightly, the feet are about 2 feet apart, actually maybe 1.5, just feels good. And then you're going to tap, and then this is going to tap here. And we're just going to get into a nice rhythm. I like to do this for at least a minute. And then you can incorporate the breath. We're breathing in and out through the nose this whole entire time, except when we do our exhale, stimulating the lymphatic system. I don't know if you can hear my breath, but they're nice, full, slow breaths. Then we're going to our hip. And you're literally putting all the weight on one leg, doesn't matter what leg you start with, whatever you go with. And we're going to do circles. So our feet, the only part of our feet that are making contact with the floor is the ball of our feet and our toes. And then opposite. Richard calls this the EP, the Elvis Presley. Okay, other side. Circulating the joints, bringing life, bringing blood flow, extra blood flow, waking up the marma points. And then the knees, give them a nice massage. Then I like to sit down, and I like to actually take the bottoms of my feet and press in to the whole inside of my foot. So use the body weight. You don't want to be straining your body. You want to use your body weight. So you take one foot, you put it in front. You're sitting crisscross applesauce, and you're just massaging. The feet are the windows to the body. We have so many points. We have the most nerve endings on our feet, and reflexology, another amazing modality. We can stimulate the whole body through just our feet. And then the other foot, of course. And for time purposes, we're just going to keep going. Now, the last movement we're going to do, super focused on the breath. We are going to wake up the whole entire spine. Super simple. If you cannot touch the ground, that is okay. Go as far down as it feels good. Remember, the pain is the red flag. If there's pain, discomfort, lighten up, just modify. So this is what it's going to look like. The feet are together, the glutes are gently contracted, the stomach is gently holding, the spine, the shoulders are back, spine is straight. We're going to inhale up, exhale down, inhale halfway up, exhale down, and inhale all the way up, and exhale down. We're going to do that 5 to 7 times, but I'm going to show you one more time for morning movement. If it feels good to do it 8 times, whatever feels good to you. So I'll show you one more time and see if you can really hear my calls on the breath. That is the most important thing. So we're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale all the way up. And you can also end like this if that feels better. I personally like to exhale and end like this. And then take a moment at the very end of the practice to have a silent moment of gratitude, whatever you're grateful for, your health, your 2 walking feet, maybe your mind, maybe your family, whatever it is, just to remind ourselves of our gifts in our life. And then there's the morning routine. So we're going to go ahead and talk about ingredients now. Ingredients that are linked to degenerative disease, ingredients that hurt the heart and cause heart disease. I'm going to give you a short list and let that be the kindling to add and begin the fire of curiosity. If you can just start looking, maybe you already are looking, but if you don't look at your ingredients, we don't know what we're putting into our beautiful bodies. We have these beautiful bodies that are a gift to us, and how we use our body, how we take care of our body, how we feed our body through thinking and through food is very important, because it really determines how we walk through life. And we all know what it feels like when we overdose on sugar or get dehydrated. The body will talk to us. We'll get tired, sluggish, unmotivated. If we're dehydrated, we could literally die from dehydration. But just being at a festival, not drinking enough water, or camping, and people get dehydrated, the next thing you know, they're in the hospital with an IV, and it's very dangerous. So different levels of dehydration, even a lighter level of dehydration, can be so harmful. So these are the ingredients if you want to get a piece of paper and a pencil. First ingredient is partially hydrogenated oil, which I know a lot of you already know. This is why do companies use hydrogenated oil? Number one, from what I understand, it's to preserve. And it also expands the oil. So they take these hydrogen bonds and they add them to the oil at high levels of heat. It expands the oil and it preserves the food. So not good for us, but good for the company. So any company that uses hydrogenated oil, I don't even want to support them, because I've lost enough loved ones from cancer. I've lost enough loved ones from heart disease, and I don't want to support them. I want to support these companies that actually care about us. So it's not just wanting to be healthy and have energy and feel good in my body. It's not just that for me. It's also the whole entire, it's very political. We know that there's a lot of greed in the world, and I do not like to be any part of supporting this kind of selfishness, this kind of greed, where they want to just make the food and pump it out in large quantities and make a lot of money while we're dying. So that's how I feel. And If you look up on the computer what's partially hydrogenated oil, that is a wonderful thing, because then you'll be getting to know about this ingredient on your own. Recently, they started changing the names. So mono and diglycerides, MONO, and diglycerides, DIG. So basically, you can figure out the rest of the spelling. Monodiglycerides is pretty much like partially hydrogenated oil. It's not good on our body. It hurts our body. Other names to look out for: datum, DATEM. Datum is no good. Enzymes is another interesting word that's been showing up on loaves of bread. And I looked up enzymes in the last year or so. It's a newer name. I have a lot of curiosity around that one. It's really easy. Unfortunately, the whole food industry, there are a list of harmful words for MSG. But now there are so many more names for MSG. Hydrolyzed soy protein. Natural flavors can also fall under for MSG. It's very confusing at first, but if you can just remember, if you don't know what it is, look it up. That is the best rule of thumb, so that it's not overwhelming. When you know you found a good bread, it's going to have about 3 to 4 ingredients: wheat, oil, and salt. And it gets real simple. Sometimes people say if it has a huge ingredient list, look out for it. That's a red flag. Most of the time, but not all the time. Sometimes it's a beautiful loaf of bread and it has about 10 different herbs in it. But that is a good rule of thumb for the most part. Check out Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. That is a wonderful chart that you can, if you haven't already printed it from your computer, just jump on what are the Dirty Dozen, and the Clean 15 will come on too. Also, if you really want to be super great about ingredients, look at the things that you're putting on your skin, because like we talked about before, it comes right into the blood. There is no barrier for our skin. A beautiful company, it's a bee company, and a beautiful friend of mine shared it with me. It's called Beauty Counter. Awesome organization. And they're not only doing good for the people and their bodies, but they're doing good for the earth. So short and sweet: partially hydrogenated oil, datum, monodiglycerides, MSG, and look up on the computer what are the other names for MSG, and artificial colors. Those are horrible. And of course aspartame, but most all of us know how horrible aspartame is. It is a huge cancer. It's just horrible. And I love this quote my friend Art told me: sugar acts like a cradle that carries cancer cells to different parts of the body. So sugar, refined sugar in moderation. Natural sugars, beautiful. Maple syrup, honey, those are actually loaded with minerals. So before I close day 5, I invite you to join me in a moment of silence in honor of all those suffering or grieving. I also invite you to join me at 3 p.m. each day for 3 minutes, wherever we may be, to focus on, meditate, or simply think about the increase of peace and healing across our globe, and for all caregivers and people serving to be protected, supported, and healthy. Thank you so much for being with me. Many blessings to you. And stay healthy, stay fearless, stay in gratitude. Aloha.